Taylor to the outside. We're in the gate. And they're off. Unwritten Code is very quick out of there. Teen Drama comes away in second. They're followed by Avantap and Phenom right together. Another 2 lengths back to Palio's Princess and Awesome Taylor trails. Less than a half mile to go. And it's Unwritten Code, the leader, opening it up to a length and a half. Teen Drama second. Avantap races in third. Heavy favorite Phenom is fourth. Almost 4 lengths off the lead. Another 2 back to Palio's Princess, who's 5 in front of Awesome Taylor. Heading to the quarter pole, Teen Drama re-engages Unwritten Code. Just behind them, Avantap drafting in. And on the outside comes Phenom and Palio's Princess. There's an 8th to run. Unwritten Code challenged by Teen Drama. Phenom picking it up now in the final stages, as is Palio's Princess swinging out. Unwritten Code digs in, but Phenom is collaring her late, and Phenom will get there. It wasn't easy. Palio's Princess came flying after her. Unwritten Code finished third, then Teen Drama. For the favorite Patron Doro to the outside. We're in the gate. And they're off. We're going to have a good time is going out for the lead. Slew's Joy has speed. Patron Doro on the outside. Stay in the Game comes away fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. Then Heart Full of Stars and El Diablo Rojo is at the back of the field. Past the 5/8 they go, and it's gonna have a good time. Leads by a half length to heavily favored Patron Doro in second. Slew's Joy is third in hand, 2.5 off the pace. Then Stay in the Game in the blue down at the rail. Heart Full of Stars, El Diablo Rojo between rivals. They're covered by less than 5 lengths, heading toward the 3/8 pole, and Patron Doro now makes his move. Takes the lead away from We're Gonna Have a Good Time, who's ahead back second. 2 more. Slew's Joy's had a good trip in third. Then a lineup at 3 at the back of the field. El Diablo Rojo, Heart Full of Stars, and Stay in the Game. A quarter of a mile to run. Patron Doro on the outside. Slew's Joy moves to challenge. Down at the rail, We're Gonna Have a Good Time. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go, and Patron Doro starts to open up. Heart Full of Stars finishing with some interest on the outside. Past the 16th pole, and it's Patron Doro who's just too strong. Patron Doro will win handily. Heart Full of Stars rallies on the outside to complete the exact in front of El Diablo Rojo, and We're Gonna Have a Good Time. We're in the gate. And they're off. Beautiful start. Raging Torrent and Charge for Gold, both out alertly. Final Boss joins on the far outside. And here's King of Gosford in the white blinkers down at the rail. Just behind them, Lawless World is 3 lengths off them, racing 2 in front of Mighty Kai, and it's a big gap to Always on Key. Down the back stretch, and King of Gosford flashing good early zip, takes the lead from Raging Torrent, and a 3 wide Charge for Gold, just a half length back in third. Final Boss, Orange Sleeves in fourth, followed by Lawless World. Mighty Kai has 6 to make up, and another 7 or so to Always on Key. King of Gosford midway on the far turn. Raging Torrent presses the issue. They're on even terms. 2 more. Final Boss trying to make some headway. Charge for Gold is next. Then it's Lawless World and Mighty Kai. They're at the top of the stretch. King of Gosford digging in very gamely. Raging Torrent is now a length back second, followed by Final Boss in third, a 16th to go, and it's King of Gosford and Flavian Pratt by 2 as Final Boss tries to get into second. King of Gosford, a clear-cut and sharp victory. Final Boss second best. Raging Torrent was third. Then a battle between Mighty Kai and Charge for Gold. And they're off. And Elector very alert out of the gate. So is Soul of Midnight and Bags Gold on the outside. Crowning Gold moves through between rivals. And here's more Tequila at the rail. So several of them vying for the lead. Trusty Rusty in the white is next. The distant trailer is Erebus. Down the back stretch, and it is more Tequila who's the quickest, leading a length and a half to Crowning Gold and Soul of Midnight. They're followed by Elector at the rail in fourth. Trusty Rusty is next. Bags Gold 4 lengths off the lead, and 6 or 7 back to Erebus. 3 furlongs out, more Tequila to catch. A length and a half, Soul of Midnight second. Then Crowning Gold. Outside, Bags Gold is inching up, takes third now. Trusty Rusty 4 off the lead. Dropping out is Elector and Erebus. They have a quarter of a mile to go, and more Tequila kicks on, leads it by 3 at the top of the stretch. Soul of Midnight hasn't made any headway on him yet. Center of the racetrack, Bags Gold. Erebus is starting to find a stride in the center of the racetrack, but time is running out. More Tequila, 3 lengths. Soul of Midnight, followed by Bags Gold, and Erebus continues to close. It's going to be more Tequila all the way. Second went to Bags Gold in a photo. Soul of Midnight in another photo with Erebus, and Elector was trying to re-rally along the rail late. Dotna. And they're off. And Pioneer Prince, very quick out of the gate. Down at the rail, here's Quintessence. And so the two favorites waste no time getting together. Noble Gary splits the top pair, and they're followed on the outside by Soldatna, who's 3 lengths off the lead. 6 Magpies in the orange colors up to take fourth. The trailer is Zafiro Anejo, not the actual trailer because it's a long way to running for Cozy. Past the half-mile pole, and it's the speedy Quintessence, pressed by long shot Noble Gary. A length and a half, Pioneer Prince, good trip third. At the rail, 6 Magpies, 3.5 off the pace in fourth. Then it's Soldatna, Zafiro Anejo, and running for Cozy. Midway on the far turn, and here comes Pioneer Prince, and Pioneer Prince right to Quintessence at the quarter pole. Pioneer Prince doing it well. Quintessence has to fight back second. Then 6 Magpies in third. At the rail, Noble Gary drops out. They're in the final furlong, and Pioneer Prince is opening up. Quintessence trying to switch to the outside, but to no avail, as Pioneer Prince is clear by 3. Now it's 4 coming toward the wire, and Pioneer Prince, too classy, wins wrapped up. Quintessence was second. Zafiro Anejo picked it up nicely late in front of Noble Gary and 6 Magpies. Side, either Crypto Craze or Left Hand Man. And they're off. Smooth start. Mano Rose is going to the front. Jamming Eddie is up close, and Crypto Craze in the red colors comes to engage the front runner. Then Left Hand Man and Minister Shane right together. Don't Fight the Fed. A gap of 3 back to Buck Owens, and Trinidad is at the back, some 12 lengths off the leader, and that leader is Crypto Craze by about a length. Mano Rose is in second, followed by Left Hand Man, Jamming Eddie on the outside. Don't Fight the Fed between those two. Minister Shane is 5 lengths off the lead. It's another 4 back to Buck Owens and Trinidad. Less than 3/8 of a mile to travel. Crypto Craze, Mano Rose maintaining a slight lead. Jamming Eddie is asked to come after the top pair, but still has 4 lengths to find. At the rail, Left Hand Man, Don't Fight the Fed, Minister Shane Buck Owens and Trinidad. Turning for home, and Man O' Rose puts away Crypto Craze, has a 3-length lead. Left hand man in between horses. Don't Fight the Fed. Belated rally from Minister Shane on the outside, but it's all over. Man O' Rose. Man O' Rose makes short work of the competition under Edwin Maldonado by 7 lengths. Tight photo, close indeed, between Buck Owens and Left Hand Man. Then another battle between Don't Fight the Fed and Minister Shane. Thank you. Maduro in the CRK colors. And they're off in the China Doll. Girl of My Dreams sprints out for the early lead. Zona Verde visually. Maduro is taken in hand through the opening furlong. Then it's Antifona, and the early trailer is Mo Fox Given, but it's a fairly compact field into the first turn with Girl of My Dreams, the leader. Has it a length and a half now to Zona Verde, getting a good spot in second, and visually is down at the rail. Maduro is a comfortable fourth, 4 lengths off the pace. Then it's Mo Fox Given and Antifona. Onto the backstretch. Girl of My Dreams, the controlling speed. Opens it up now to lead by almost 3 lengths with Zona Verde and visually right together, visually in a tad tight at the rail. And they're followed by Maduro, fourth past the half-mile pole, 3 lengths off the lead and inching up. Mo Fox Given is in a tight spot, and outside of her, Antifona. Around the far turn, Zona Verde right up to Girl of My Dreams. They race together as one. As Maduro takes third, Antifona launching a bit on the outside. Antifona is within 2 lengths of the lead and just went by Maduro at the quarter pole. Zona Verde on the outside. Antifona, Maduro is still very much in it in between them. They line up with a furlong to go. Zona Verde, and now Maduro kicks it into high gear impressively. Handwritten to the 16th pole, and she bursts away. Maduro will remain undefeated. A stylish victory in the China Doll. Zona Verde second, tight photo for third between Mo Fox Given and Antifona.
My Racehorse has opened up a door.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Spot Doro, Last Call Paul broke very alertly. Dance Man, Cody Boyle on the rail, 4 right across the track. Final Storm is 5th, but just 3 lengths off the lead. Then Square Doro, T1D Flower Free, who bobbled slightly, is toward the back of the field, passed just now by Vols, and at the back of the field is Sir Johnny. Into the far turn, it's Cody Boy leading by a neck, pressed by Dance Man, 3 furlongs away from the money. Spot Doro is a length back, 3 wide in third. Final Storm marching into contention now. Here comes Final Storm, 4 deep, but only a length and a half off them. Last Call Paul is next. Then T1D, Flower Free on the outside of Square Doro and Vols. They are at the top of the stretch. The leader is Dance Man at the 8th pole. Final Storm coming gamely on the outside, and then Spot Doro in third. Dance Man digs in. Final Storm right to him, and Last Call Paul is finishing very nicely late, but Final Storm will get there. Final Storm and Kyle Frey. Photo for second between Dance Man and Last Call Paul. Then it was Cody Boy battling it out with T1D Flower Free to complete the super high 5. Canelo. They're in the gate. And they're off. The Bullion Bomber is sent hard out of there. Seattle Breakout came away with the top flight. So did Montana. Creative Way and Tiz Talk along the inside is right off the leader's heels into the first turn. And that leader is the Bullion Bomber, who has made it over to the rail. Montana takes second, followed between rivals by Seattle Breakout, and Tiz Talk is down at the rail. Canelo is racing widest of all, only about 2 lengths off the lead, however. Then comes the gray Creative Way. Flint Stroll is next. Inside, Take Charge Curly, and another 3 back to Ferociously. They're heading toward the half-mile pole, and it's the Bullion Bomber, clear by 2. Montana second, Canelo on the outside with Tiz Talk and Seattle Breakout. Creative Way is about 4 lengths off the pace. There goes Take Charge Curly, going for an early but very wide bid. Caught 5 wide into the far turn, but up within 3 lengths of the lead. Flint Stroll is down at the rail, nothing yet from Ferociously. The Bullion Bomber still loose, coming to the quarter pole, cruising along, in fact, hasn't been asked for anything and is extending the margin. It's now 4. Tiz Talk on the inside, battling for second. Behind him, Flint Stroll turning for home, and the Bullion Bomber clear by 7 lengths. Flint Stroll takes up the chase with Tiz Talk. They're followed by Montana. In the center of the racetrack, it's Take Charge Curly, but the Bullion Bomber blew him away. The Bullion Bomber, another for Edwin Maldonado, wins by 8 lengths. Tiz Talk second in front of Seattle Breakout, Flint Stroll, and Montana completes the super high 5.
Welcome one and all to the Great Race Place. It is a Friday. We have a 1 o'clock post, 8 races for a 3-day weekend. I'm Zoe Chapman, joined by Chapman. And we were just laughing because I came in here and I said, what's your first name?
Yeah.
Jeff Chapman. If anybody is wondering, he only goes by Chappie. Well, welcome.
Thank you very much. And I'm used to that. Many people don't know my first name is Jeff. So it's fine. Call me whatever you want, but Chappie works.
Well, your actual title is the VIP player host. What exactly goes into that? Because it seems like when I see you in the paddock, you usually have like a tall blonde or brunette on your arm and you're like walking around. Like what goes into VIP player host?
Okay, so it started out more taking care of the high-end players around the track. So, obviously Tom Quigley, I don't want to impede on his area, but he's got the Eddie Logan room. So I take care of a lot of the other groups around, the big players around the track.
Okay.
Then when we get the celebrities in, the big timers, whatever, I'm the guy in charge of taking them, making sure they have a good time, taking them to the paddock, doing all that kinds of good stuff. So I've gotten to meet a lot of interesting people along the way.
Who is the most interesting person that you've met thus far?
Let me see. I'll give you people that have a couple of people that surprised me. Colin Farrell.
Did you get to meet Colin Farrell?
Oh yeah. I took him around. So
where was I that day? Because I love Colin.
Yeah, I know you liked him, so I avoided you. But no, I was very. Sometimes you have something in your head, and I usually don't. That he would be a certain way, and he was so nice and so appreciative of everything, and completely different person. I don't know if it's because you watch movies and you think they have this certain.
So he wasn't a hard drinking, hard smoking Irishman?
Not at all.
Oh,
I mean, he had a few beers in the suite, but he was very cool, very appreciative, very nice, and just like a sweet guy. And it surprised me a little bit.
Oh, so, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But more often I see you in a different kind of program. What can you tell me about the guest ambassador program that you're running here at Santa Anita? I believe you got some really good feedback on.
We did. So basically the ambassador program is supposed to take care of the groups that come out. So they book through the sales department. They come out, have a day at the races. We take them down to the paddock. Then we take them to the winner's circle, that type of thing. Well, especially at the beginning of the year, besides Saturdays, Fridays, and Sundays can be pretty light.
Right.
So I told all the people, and we've got really good people right now. I said, let's every single race, every day that there's not a group assigned, go find people.
Oh, so you just find random people?
Random people.
How cool.
Every race. And you can pick them out, right? You can kind of see who's new just by what they're looking at, and just go up and ask them, hey, would you like a tour? Would you like to be treated like a VIP? And the funniest thing is a lot of them will say, what's the catch? Or, they think I'm going to sell them a timeshare at the end of the thing, but we all do it. And I do it as well. So we take them to the paddock, just like they would, introduce them to a jockey, to a trainer, take them down, watch the race right on the winner's circle, hopefully get as many people in the picture as well. And by the way, shout out to all the trainers and the owners, because they've been incredible for letting us have more people in there. They're very accommodating, which helps.
Yeah. Getting
them a picture that they can take home with them the same day. And all these people have been emailing, texting back saying, thank you so much we came expecting nothing or knew nothing, and you guys created a day out of it. Because the people who have a race booked already, they kind of know what's coming.
Right, exactly.
The newcomers have no clue. So we've kind of created something out of nothing for these people every day. Not nothing, but you know what I mean? Really elevated it. And many times there are people who've never been here before. So we teach them a little bit, but just show them, just good hospitality.
Wow. Well, we need more of this, because this is something that racing needs. We need to bring people in, and on days that it is quiet, there are plenty of boxes open. Bring them in, show them kind of how they think the other half are doing it, and just let them know that they can do it too.
Yeah. exactly. And then we actually did something too. So each group that emailed, texted back, we decided to create like a VIP return day.
Okay.
So that's on Sunday, March 24th. So I was expecting, hopefully Andrew Arthur's not watching this, but I included a few extra things in there, and we thought, who knows how many people we're going to get to come. And we have to put it together today. But the response, we've got over 200 people coming.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Free
So-
drinks, booze all day, right?
No
It's
booze,
open
but there
bar.
is food included. So yeah, we've got our work cut out for us. It was overwhelming, but I think it should be really cool.
So people know now what you look like for the guest ambassador program. So if they see you walking around, just go and grab Chappie and just be like, hey, me, pick me, pick me. Is that what you do?
I'll be happy to do it.
All right, Chappie, you're a good handicapper. Before we hand it over to Frank Miramati, what is your number one handicapping tool?
XBTV.
Ah, yes, we paid him to say that.
100%. So the harder, I think the more we go on in this game, the harder it is to have any kind of an advantage, right? I watch a ton of replays, horses who have trouble. Everybody does that, but not. You still have an advantage because not everybody does that. You got to take the time to watch these replays.
Yeah.
Horses gets in trouble, something that's subtle that somebody might not else know. But I watch workouts constantly on XBTV. I find a lot of horses. There's a horse running tomorrow that's coming back, and I'm going to be blank on the name, for Carla Gaines, that won first time out. That I did a tip sheet, put it on top, and she's not known for winning first time out either. And it won at 7 or 8 to 1.
Oh,
There's something candy.
sleep.
Yes, can't sleep.
Can't sleep. Down the hill. Made
No,
Frankie
it was
Dettori-
not down the hill, but it was.
Oh,
it
6.5,
was
yeah.
correct.
Made Frankie announce that he was like king of the grass.
Correct.
Because she won so easily. Can't
Yeah.
sleep.
Yep.
Don't sleep on Can't Sleep tomorrow. I'm using her in my coast to coast pick 5.
Yeah, now 5 to 2, but I actually caught that horse at 7 to 1.
Right.
So that's been my real trying to get an advantage, is just finding something that nobody else does.
Is it a learning curve for you watching works? When you first watch a work, did you know what you were looking at?
I had no idea. I mean, a little bit, because I've been doing this so long, right? But now, first of all, I love when they work in company. The first thing I always do is obviously look up who they're working with.
Very good. Good
And
point.
then watch it over and over, how easy they were doing it. It's amazing how many times you will see two horses work 102 and 1. And one does it much easier than the other. So on paper, it doesn't mean anything like watching it in person or on XBTV.
All right, big plug for XBTV. This is Chappie Chapman, Jeff Chapman. He is the VIP player host right here at Santa Anita, and also runs the guest ambassador program. We will be right back after we get the program changes and scratches from the one and only Frank Miramati.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast and the turf is firm. Here are the early changes. The rail on the turf is out 30 feet. There are no changes in the first race, start of the early pick 5. No changes in race 2, which begins the early pick 4. We have some blinker notes in the third with an 8-race card. The pick 6 $1 version starts with the third event. Blinker note in race 4 started the late pick 5. It's also the start of the $3 all-turf pick 3. The all-turf pick 3 is on races 4, 6, and 8. No scratches or jockey changes in race number 5. Same with race number 6. In the 7, started the Golden Hour pick 4, scratch 7, Travel and Show. Number 7, Travel and Show, out of race 7. And in the 8th, scratch number 6, Classic Creation. The Golden Hour double starts with race 8. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park. Post time for the opener is in 58 minutes at 1 p.m. Let's go back to the studio now and resume the seminar with Zoe and Chappie.
I'm Zoe Chapman in for TQ alongside Jeff Chappie Chapman for about the next 29 minutes as we handicap this 8-race card at Santa Anita. Rails are at 30 feet, turf is firm, and the main track is fast. Before we dive into race 1, Chappie, how did you start on the track? You're not from a horse background, correct? Are you?
No.
I have no idea.
Okay, so I grew up in Indiana, and my parents liked to go to the racetrack when I was a kid.
Okay.
So I have an older brother, 4.5 years older than me. He had no desire whatsoever. So they would do the Disney World trips, whatever. And then they asked me where I'd want to go. So we would go to Ohio, and we would go to River Downs during the day. And then we would go over to Kentucky and go to Latonia, which was harness racing, which is now Turfway Park at night. So that was what I chose to do. So I think the first time I went, I was kind of born into it. So I could read the racing form as a young kid.
Wow.
But there were no tracks around. I grew up in South Bend. The closest OTB was like going to Chicago at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I noticed you have a Cubby phone case thing. I'm a diehard Cubby fan, just so you know, from my days of riding in Chicago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Go Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go Cubs. All right. Enough of the Cubbies. We can bring them back later. Let's start to talk about race number 1. Mile and 8. This is a maiden special weight for the fillies. Rails are at 30 feet. How do you see this race? I have the 2 on top, Circle of Trust.
I have the 2 on top as well. I'm a little chalky today, but you kind of got to go the way you see the races, right? Watching a couple of the replays, the only thing I thought about the 2, maybe a little bit difficult to ride, but I think the horse can run all day. I like the fact that, in the second start, this horse won a maiden special weight, and then D'Amato throws it right into the grade 3. Last time this horse got ranked, was in between horses, just had kind of a awful trip.
She had a horrible trip.
Yeah, and then flattened out late. So I clearly think this is the horse to beat. For second, I kind of went between the 1 who improved with JJ up last time. And I ultimately went with Tahini, the 5, just thinking that maybe this horse with the rails at 30 feet, there doesn't look to be a whole lot of speed in here.
Yes.
So maybe the old lone F here and could, slow it up and go wire to wire.
For sure. Tahini is the lone speed. She's going to have to stretch that another 1/8 of a mile because we're going 1 mile and 1/8. But she just kind of ran off a little bit and jeweled going 47 and change. Now she gets Rispoli back. If he can kind of harness her and just handle her a little bit more, it was almost like she took him by surprise.
Yeah.
She could well be the one to beat in here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think Circle of Trust has that. It looks like she can run all day and has a lot of talent. So if she gets a clean trip, she's definitely the one to beat.
All right, 2-5 for Chappie in race number 1 as we look forward to race number 2. This marks the early pick 4. This is 6 furlongs, claim is 10,000, going 6 furlongs. How do you see this race?
Yeah, I did not get very cute here, so I'm literally chalk here. I put the 3 lands down on top.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you trust him?
No. But I don't trust anybody in this race. I mean, to be honest with you, Knapp drops down, but I mean, it's not the huge drop. He claimed the horse, 3 back for 12.5.
He won by a head, lost by a head. I'm not sure I could hang my hat on Lancer.
No, I mean, if we're being honest here, this wouldn't be a race I would bet, but we have.
Don't be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to bet every race, every nickel I have.
Thank you.
I just think this is kind of a logical spot. Should get a good stalking trip. Nap's having a great meet, so that was kind of the top pick just by process of elimination. And my second pick was Elevado, who's 8-5. I don't love the rail draw, but this horse once again, is 2 for 5 at the distance. Looks like can sit just off the pace. So I'm not getting clever. If you have something clever, I'd love to hear what you have to say in this one, because
I've always got something clever to say, but not necessarily about this race. I'm
Okay.
going with Elevado in this race because I can't trust Lansdowne as far as I can throw him.
Yeah.
He's tough to ride. He's tough in the morning. He only just wins. He only just loses. Is he the logical horse on paper? Sure he is.
yeah.
But I'm definitely not hanging my hat on him. I'm going with Lansdowne, who's looking for back-to-back wins. For trainer Sean McCarthy, let's move on and take a look at race number 3, maiden $32,000 claimers going 6 furlongs, and this marks the start of the pick six. Are you a pick six player? Do you like going back to the dollar pick six like most of the proper players do?
I do. I mean, I like it better for sure. I would only play the 20 centers on the mandatory payout days. I'm still more of a pick 5 guy. That's just been in my blood forever. So I don't play the pick 6 very often. If I do, clearly I think you have to have a single no matter what. I would never play without a single. Usually I like to have like a mid-price single to boot.
Right.
Everybody singles the 3 to 5, right?
Yeah.
The chosen Vron tomorrow, whatever. Yeah, I mean, free square, fine. But normally, as a matter of fact, I singled Carla Gaines that's running tomorrow, first time out at 8-1 in the pick 5.
Baker?
Yeah.
Did you hit the pick 5?
I did. It was funny. I was alive to like 5 horses in the last leg. The favorite won the last leg. Someone had that many, many times because it paid way less than it should have. It paid $500. The horse I had that ran second, who was closing, it was paying like $2,700. So my ticket was like $200. I could have bet the $200 to win on an 8-1, but I'm not smart enough to do that.
See, that's what I'm not a big multi-exotic player because I like to bet maidens to win. That is my favorite angle to play because I can never pick 5 in a row. I mean, if you watch me handicap, it's almost impossible.
Right.
So I like to find a nice maiden, just like that, use XBTV, and win that way. Is it possible you could single in race number 3 today?
No.
You were playing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's nothing that stood out. The horse I am against is the 2, who's 2-1 on the morning line. This horse never changed leads the last time. I don't like drawn inside at a short price, so that would be a play against for me. Just
what Pope came back to win. I mean, that's not terrible.
No. And this horse could win. Look, this race is okay. I'm kind of taking a shot on the outside horse, Steve Miotti. He can win first time out, but he's kind of better second time out. If you watch the replay of this race, the horse kind of broke slowly and then ran on decently, finished well. And I think drawn outside will improve. That winner came back to win. And so I think that's an interesting horse at 5-2. My second choice was the 4 Creative Quality. I don't know much about this horse. Ed Moger's only 1 for 2 at the meet, or 1 for 42, excuse me, at the meet. But they did try maiden special weight a couple times. And first time out at Golden Gate, came here, added blinkers, didn't run well. Now kind of drops to looks like the level this horse should be at, and takes the blinkers off, adds Lasix. There's a lot to go on. Ran against Kinza the last time out. I mean, for God's sakes. So I would be too deep in here, 4-6. And if the 2 beats me, the 2 beats me.
All right. Well, we're either winning the pick 3 together or losing the pick 3 together because we've seen the first 3 races exactly the same.
Okay.
Let's move on and take a look at race number 4, 6.5 furlongs on the turf. This is on the flat turf, $32,000 claimers. Also start of the all turf pick 3. Before we jump into the race, this is one of my favorite wages right now, and it really pays.
Yeah. No, it really pays. I mean, the $3 minimum is great.
Yeah.
I love
It makes you work.
Absolutely. And I love turf races anyways. So that's the type of race that's the type of wager I've been starting to play more and more.
Okay, so how do you see this? Who's on top?
The 2.
Really?
Yeah. If you go back and watch that replay, that is a very interesting replay off of almost a year layoff. The horse broke from the rail, had an awful start. And, this almost looked like a need the lead horse before that.
Right.
But relaxed, sat back, kind of came on late and almost won. Ran in a non-winners of 3 lifetime off that long layoff. Now is back in non-winners of 2 lifetime. And I think that was the one replay. You asked me if I had a replay, and I forgot to send that one in. 2-1 on the morning line. But that was an interesting replay to go back and look at.
So Topolina on top with the 6 underneath, and that is Araniti. Is that correct?
Yeah, you know what? Araniti is a tiny little thing.
Yes.
She's worked kind of against some really good horses and been outworked, but Mandela kept working her against talented horses.
Because she's a good workhorse.
Yeah.
Sometimes it helps to be slow in the morning.
You're
if
right.
If I was a horse, I would definitely be slow in the morning because that way I don't have to run against those good ones.
Right. Her last work that I saw, which was on back on January 27th, was against Ice Dancing, who's a win machine.
Correct.
She held her own there. Dropping in for 32. Pratt jumps aboard. Just kind of the logical other horse in here. I would consider, there is some speed in here, but I would consider Topolina maybe singling in here.
I'm with you on that. I actually really like Blonde Bombshell. Can you talk me off of Blonde Bombshell? I think the cutback and distance is really, really going to help her. I like Debbie Winnick. She does a good job. But this mare, she's a mare. She's 5 years old now, lightly raced, just 1 win, 11 starts. She's been knocking on the door. And I think the cutback just hits her right between the eyeballs.
I do too.
Am I crazy?
And no, it's not. And what's funny is her best races are actually on the turf.
Yes.
So I almost use Blonde Bombshell as my, well, look, if you see the
evidence, we got the evidence coming up here.
2-6/3. You can't, nobody else can see that.
Well, someone might have x-ray vision. You just never know.
So I did consider the 3 in there. Those are just, when I go back to make bets, I will probably use all 3 of them in there.
Now, you mentioned XB TV as a handicapping tool. What else do you use? Like, what is your other go-to that you have to use? What are the main things you use when putting together your favorite bet, the pick 5? So
a couple things. I mean, obviously the XB TV works. The other thing is I go back and watch all the races, right? And I'd make the trip notes and all that stuff.
What if you don't have time to watch replays? A lot of people don't have time.
Well, then I don't play.
Really?
No.
Good for you.
Yeah, I will not go on anybody else's information at all.
That's why I like to watch the works myself rather than read the comments.
Correct. Like, if I don't have time, and there are some times, I get it, there are so many horses out there that XB or the workout reports will have workouts on a horse that didn't make it on XBTV.
Correct.
Then that's all we have to go by.
Yeah.
So I will throw a horse in because of that, because that's the only thing you can look at. There's a horse coming up later that there were no works for me to look at that I'll talk about for a second. The other thing is I always play the race. We always say the pace makes the race type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I play the race out in my head. I love trying to find a lone speed horse, or, there's a lot of speed sets up well for that type of thing. So I'm always working the race. And then the worst thing is, of course, if you think a horse is lone speed and then the gates open.
Oh, never.
And then 3 horses send. And
you'd be cussing every jockey out there. What are you doing? This is lone speed.
Yeah. I've done it many times. I'll probably do it today.
All right, let's move on and talk about race number 5, maiden 50, the state bred for the fillies. We are going 5.5 furlongs. How do you see this race? I've got Susie's Darling on top. Had to go and watch the work this morning, and good for the level is what I decided. But I will say one thing. Watch her in the post parade. Watch her go into the gate. And just never take your eyes off her if you have bet her, because apparently she's a little flighty.
Okay, that's good to know. I got to make notes on that.
Yes,
I do have Susie's Darling second for that reason. I was trying to go with a little bit of a price, and I had to go back a ways. There was a work on XPTV for Perfect in Gray, the 5-horse, way back on February 12th. But I loved the work. The horse kind of just sat, and finished very well. So I figured with the progression of works, and as well as Steve Knapp is going, and drawn outside of Susie's Darling, and getting 4-1, that was the reason I chose Perfect in Gray on top.
I'm going to use that later. Thank you so much for that, Chappie.
Now, here's a horse that I didn't use. You look at a horse like Spicy Ride on the outside, right?
Yeah.
3-1 morning line. JJ Hernandez gets on this horse for a reason. There were no works on XPTV on that horse, so I had nothing to go on. So I didn't use the horse. I love horses drawn outside like that. I love when JJ jumps on.
No work report?
I looked at one was a B-, one was a C+. So mixed reviews. I will not use because I didn't get to see it and because of the mixed reviews. So I'm just too deep in here. Nobody else stood out. That fancy Fascinator, the 6, looked very green in some works. So I'm 4-5 calling a day. If the 7 beats me, then I'll blame the clockers.
I'll get a note out to our head works operator, Teresa Delegata, and make sure that we get that horse next time for you.
Well, I get it. They have a lot going on, right?
Yeah,
and especially with all the rain and everything else, that I know that the days horses can work. There's a million out there, right? So
they all go at the same time.
I'm not blaming anybody. Teresa, you're okay.
She does a great job.
Yes.
She does a great job.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Race number 6, a mile on the turf. State bred A other than. If you've won your dirt condition, you can run on the grass, which is a wonderful thing. How about having a cowbred here? Also, leg 2 of the Old Turf Pick 3. We're going a mile on the turf with the rails set at 30 feet. I made my case. I love Court Snort. She's won me the Pick 5 before, as I singled her last time she ran. But where are you going? Because you're not on her. You don't believe she's better on the grass.
Correct. I'm not using her. So if you beat me, I am out. I love the connection. I love Leonard Powell, and I love.
My biggest question today, and I want to make sure that Pete interviews Leo, is that Leonard's wife, Mathilde, lovely lady, she didn't know this filly was running. Like, Leonard will claim these horses for Mathilde and put them in her name and say, I bought your horse today, here you are. But he won't tell her when they're in. So the day she ran that day, I'm like,
really?
Does she know this horse is running? He's like, no, because then she is not disappointed. I go home tonight, I'll give her champagne. But I want to know.
She doesn't even ever know it even runs.
No,
wow,
not at all. He's like, this is a much better option for me. So we need to find out if Mathilde Powell actually knows that her horse is running today.
Interesting. I just think this horse is going to get overbet because the horse loves the dirt. I just put the line through the dirt races, and that's all the ones, all the horses times the horse won.
I just feel that she is a much better horse. Some horses flourish in people's stables. And she was positively gleaming when I saw no deference to the other connections, but she was definitely gleaming the last time I saw her.
Okay. Now, what's funny about that is, so I'll go down to the paddock and look at horses, and as much as I've done this, anybody can go by when Zenyatta walks by or grade 1 and go, wow, that horse looks great. And once in a while, a horse will walk by me, and I say, wow, unbelievable. But I can't tell the difference between if they look great or not.
I think it's more
obviously if they're washed out or something.
Right, then, exactly. And it's more like knowing the horses and watching the horses and making notes, which is why we all like DRF Formulator, because some horses perhaps didn't look as sparkly in their last run and they look better.
Yeah.
So you have that reference to go on. It's more on the particular horse. Yeah. You have to know the animal.
Yeah, and I don't take good enough notes to do that, which is idiotic, but I don't.
That's okay.
So anyways, I went with the 1. Beta? Is that how you pronounce that?
Have you never drinking a Beta Amber?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Been to New Orleans and had that? It's a great beer.
Where?
New Orleans.
No, I've only been to New Orleans once. I was like 12.
Oh, well, you
I
weren't
had a
drinking
beignet.
beer
That
then, I
was it.
hope.
No.
Yeah, a beta. I don't know if this horse is named for a beer. I very much doubt it, but it is a good beer in New Orleans.
All right, so I'm going to go with the beer horse, the one. This horse finally strings 2 races together, right? A lot of running lines there where this horse has been off, and ran a nice second last time off the layoff. Rough Ride came back to win. I just think this is a good spot at 4-1. I love Hector Berrios on the turf, and I think the price is right. And this horse is the one I'm going to put on top. As far as I went back and forth who I was going to pick second. Yeah, I wanted True Patriot off the layoff because that horse ran some good races in the past, never been in for a tag. Just okay on maybe needs one coming back from what I looked at. I thought Jessabear was a little interesting. I ended up going with the 7. I'll Have Another Kiss. Went long the last time, kind of ran off. I do like the fact that Doug is very strong taking the blinkers off.
Yes.
And when trainers get hot, they get hot. And the O'Neill barn has heated up the last couple weeks, and that makes a difference. So I ended up landing on I'll Have Another Kiss as my second choice in here for those reasons.
Doug O'Neill, 26% with the blinkers off, currently winning at 21% for the meet right now. So those are Chappie's picks for race number 6 as we move along to race number 7 here. Maiden special weight, state bred maiden special weights. Lots of races for Cowbirds today, which is something that I love. These are going 6 furlongs. How do you see this race?
All right, so I did go with the 8-5 favorite here, Known Idea, who showed a ton of speed, went 21-4 first time out. The winner of that race, now that was a crazy replay.
Oh my God, 2x4?
Yeah.
Oh, All Pratt first time out.
Yeah.
He rode his hind end off
Yes.
to win that race, and the next time.
Yes, completely missed the break, and I think was that Jeff Bondy?
2x4, Craig Lewis.
Craig Lewis.
Clubhouse ride.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who's had a terrific.
Oh, he's having the meet of the century right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Known Idea got run down late by 2x4 in the middle, coming down the rail, actually.
Yes.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
Coming down the rail.
Yeah.
That was like a Hall of Fame ride.
If that horse was in this race, we would have shown that replay. But, Sadler's very good second time out. This horse worked with a horse named Ball Don't Lie, who actually ran third last week in that loaded maiden special weight that Vlahos won from the rail for, they sold it already. Who am I thinking of? Who runs them? Oh my gosh, I'm blank.
You lost me.
The 4th race last weekend.
I was watching horses go an 1/8 of a mile at OBS.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I can't help you.
Well, I was looking. There were a bunch of first-time starters in the 4th race last week. And I was like, there's 6 of them that can really run.
I know it was a loaded race.
Loaded race. And I did not use the rail. And this horse went 21-43, rebroke, won by like 4, and they sold it to O'Neill Group a couple days later.
Okay.
And just ran like a monster. And this horse, Known Idea, worked well with the horse who ran third in that loaded race.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
It'll make sense to somebody, hopefully, because you're losing me. I do know that the 5 Special Club is Jeff Siegel's prime play for the day, currently at 4-1. Let's move on.
That's my second pick.
That's your second pick.
And
You're going against God in Jeff Siegel?
Yeah, I'm definitely. I consider I'm on TV today. I am God. Special Club, that replay on the dirt back at Del Mar was very impressive.
Okay.
JJ jumps aboard, and as we said, Craig Lewis is having a terrific meet. He scratched his other horse, the 7, in here.
Why run 2 when 1 will do?
Absolutely. So I will go 2 deep in there, 4-5.
Race number 8 is the final race of the day. Leg 3 of the All Turf Pick 3. We're going a mile on the grass. This a start of 50, purse of 39,000. This is the most interesting race of the day. How do you see this?
So I went with the old back class horse, the 1 Tarantino.
Yes.
I think this horse last time out, this horse likes to go long on the turf. They went off of a little bit of a layoff, 6.5 on the dirt. Maybe they were trying to sneak by a 6-year-old not getting claimed for 50.
You're not sneaking anything by Glatt these days.
Well, that's why.
And
right?
nobody was more surprised than poor Ed Moja when they claimed this horse. Glatt was the only person in for Tarantino. And I was actually sitting watching the race with Mark Glatt. And he's like, he thought maybe the horse might win. He's like, don't win, because you want to claim a horse with conditions, right?
Right.
So don't win. And the horse ran a bang-up race to be beaten just 2 lengths. Terrific training job by Ed Moja, but got to feel for Ed.
Absolutely, right? But Glatt has been doing the right things. Obviously, he's had a huge meet. He places him in good spots. This horse comes back in a perfect spot here. And at 5-1, I think that's an absolute gift on this horse. And I was the same thing. I assume they were shocked that they got claimed.
How about Muqtada? The 7.
That's my second choice. Second off of a long layoff.
Oof.
Another horse that could be lone speed here. And I talked about this the last couple of times I've been on here, that Dettori, it's funny, I didn't know as much about him. I mean, I knew who he was, but how good he is and how aggressive he is on the turf. I mean, this isn't down the hill. He's spectacular down the hill, but stretching out here, he could go gate to wire, and that's the other horse in here for me. But I just think Tarantino fits this race perfectly. And Glatt's pushing all the right buttons right now, and I think that's the horse to beat.
Muqtada is a good horse. I only question, he ran the biggest number of his life last time out and comes back in just 2 weeks off a 2-year left. Yeah. Is it too much? I don't know. I know Serin knows his horse is way better than me, but I like him as well. I'm in agreement with you in using Tarantino on top in the last race. If you're wondering who Chappie was waxing lyrical about, the horse that won last weekend, Vahos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I said that I was trying to think of the trainer. I'm blank. Vlahos.
Mendez.
Luis Mendez. My God.
Mendez.
Yeah,
Took
that's
the
right.
money and ran.
Yeah.
Good man, Luis.
Yeah, he blew me out.
Vahos. All right, well, I'm sorry, Chapman. That is Jeff Chapman, the VIP player host here at Santa Anita. Also, the main man behind the guest ambassador program. If you see him wandering around Santa Anita, put your hand up and say, pick me, and you will have the time of your life. Thanks for joining us. Cheers, Chappie.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, where the track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf is out 30 feet. Here are the changes, very few of them. No changes in race 1, start of the early pick 5. No changes in the second. The third race is the start of the pick six, $1 pick six on races 3 through 8. The fourth starts the all-turf pick 3 as well as the late pick 5, no scratches or jockey changes. The all-turf pick 3 is on races 4, 6, and 8. The fifth start of the late pick 4, no scratches or jockey changes. Same situation, race 6. In the 7th, Golden Hour pick 4 begins. Scratch 7, Travelin' Show. Number 7, Travelin' Show out of the 7th. And in the 8th, scratch number 6, Classic Creation. Enjoy your day here at Santa Anita Park, where post time for the opener is in 28 minutes at 1 p.m. $3 beers, $5 margaritas every Friday, as well as free parking and admission.